Anyway, in South Africa and Namibia, mothers with HIV and AIDS are routinely sterilized without their informed consent. Countries that perform these procedures are known to receive funding in the forms of grants and incentives from USAID and other aid organizations. And the report explains here that U.S. researchers and drug companies violate the laws and protocols of the Declaration at Helsinki in 1964 and the Belmont Report, which provides ethical guidelines on human experimentation. Of course, these people are criminals. The worst kind. They're evil tyrants. It's a scientific dictatorship. They're killing Africa. They want to decimate, genocide in Africa, just decimate it, kill everybody over there. They want to deindustrialize the United States and the West and keep our population cold and down. They want to consolidate all power, politically, economically, food, everything. And we're all buying into it, saying that this is what's good for the collective. It's called collectivism, okay? It's crazy. It's this communist thing. I mean, interestingly enough, like Guteau, the one who killed, who shot Garfield, was from the Oneida Society. I'm going to go over this later in the second part of the show, which is like a totally communist idea, but even like with sexual ideas. In fact, you could argue that the hippie movement and all that free love stuff came out of the Oneida community, which was in Oneida, New York, in the 1840s with Noyes. William Noyes was the person that founded it. Interesting, very interesting stuff we'll be covering in the second hour. So please tune in, stay on the radio with me. Again, this is We Are Changed with Howard Nema, and you're listening to informradio.com. Give us a call in here, 772-905-3018. If you want to touch on any of the subjects, I'll be doing some news for a little while in the first hour, some commentary on some other things. Of course, Big Pharma and all these things will be tied into it, and always the spider web leads to the center, which is the cobweb of evil, known as the New World Order. All right, so this was a great article. It was actually written by a globalist named Fareed Zakaria, so I'm very surprised that they actually are putting out some information that was truthful. A lot worse than that. When they go to Africa to inoculate these people, they literally are forcing them at gunpoint to take these inoculations. This is on record. You know, it's the World Health Organization. The whole thing is they're just destroying and putting these people, saying, we're going to take care of you at gunpoint. Take this shot. We're gonna help you. Like Obama's helping everybody, gonna help everybody by building a permanent military base in Australia to keep us free and safe, you know, and at peace. And the people believe it. Do you really believe that? Think about it. We're going to be at peace because you're going to build another military base? 1,000, 1,200 bases isn't enough? Ladies and gentlemen, do you realize, don't you see what's happening? It is the collectivization of the world. Everything, all the resources, everything you eat, it's down to a small business owner can't even start up because they make it impossible. They don't want that. They want collectivism. They want these big corporations to own everything. And who owns these big corporations? And why are they doing this? It is to turn us into a feudal society. I mean, the good news about the Constitution and America, it crushed monarchies. It crushed the whole monarchy system. And now they're destroying the system that gave us the most liberty, prosperity, and freedom in history. And they're doing this by stealth, secretly, behind the scenes, evil, taking over our governments, paying off corporations, infiltrating, or just look at the back and forth between Monsanto with Michael R. Taylor going, you know, from Monsanto going to the FDA, and all the other rigged games, like Michael Chernoff with being the head of the Homeland Security. He steps down and becomes the CEO of Rapiscan after negotiating the contract to put naked body scanners all over the place, get billions of dollars. Now he's the CEO of the company that got the contract. Yesterday's show, I covered all the insider information that these criminals obtain, and then they make stock deals where they sell or they buy their holdings based upon insider information. It's called insider trading. Of course, it's illegal. Everyone else does it. Go to jail for 20 years. They do it. They don't even say anything. See, it's the just us system, like Gerald Celente says. It's just us, not the justice system, the just us system. Everybody else, guy, a bankster, skims off $1.2 million, he gets 2 years in jail. I mean, this is the system. It's a just us system. And it's not just us. It is not us. We are not the us. Okay. Tragedy to travesty. I'm going to stick a lot on Big Pharma today. I'm going to be sticking it with knives today. Tragedy to travesty. Drug firms experimented on survivors of the Bhopal disaster. Okay, remember that? It's horror. It's just like more horror that comes out every day. So you don't have to wait 40 years to find out what the horror is today. It's happening. Identify it. Look at it. Like 9/11. Look at it. Look at the criminal activity that's occurred after. Look at the CIA. Look at the whole big picture, and you'll find us where we are today in this Orwellian police state, like Hitler did the Reichstag. These forces in government took over the military and quote unquote to get the terrorists. And now we have to. Now we're the freedom fighters, so freedom defenders. So now, now we go around, and everyone that's going to have a revolution, we help them. And Al Qaeda is now, in power in Libya, and Al Qaeda is the good guys. This is the same Al Qaeda that were the bad guys. It's just insane, and everybody just goes along with this really bad script that could never get sold in Hollywood, but everybody's living it. Okay? Wake up to that. Know that everything's a lie. Everything they tell you, even when it's the truth, is a lie. Just like in China, in any communist country, even when they tell you the truth, they lie. And the people know this, but they do nothing about it. You have to understand that this is our lives, our futures, our fortunes, our families, our very right to exist. They are attacking. So in Bhopal, this is an article by Nina Lakhani in The Independent. Secret reports seen by The Independent reveal that drug trials funded by Western pharmaceutical firms at the Indian hospital set up for survivors at the Bhopal disaster violated international ethics standards and could have put patients at risk. Some 14 patients died during the 3 trials examined by the reports. In one trial, for an antibiotic, 5 out of 7 patients died during the trial or soon after it finished. While there is no suggestion that every death merits compensation, critics say that there have been no adequate investigation into whether compensation was appropriate for any of these cases, and of course none has ever been paid. No, of course not. Why are they going to pay these Indian people? Are you kidding? Let them die. They all were poisoned. Let them just die. We're just going to do some experiments, see if we can get some, figure out how to utilize this thing, or how to help people or not help people, I should say. It's crazy. It's crazy. At least 8 other trials were carried out on hundreds of Bhopal gas victims, and who were unaware that they were taking part in the trial at all. That's the whole point. They don't tell the people. In America, it's happened over and over again. So it's like the chemtrails, geoengineering. They just don't tell the people. They just do it, and then you're a conspiracy theorist. There's nothing happening. They're not spraying anything. You're a theorist. You're a nut. You're a crazy person. Yeah, if I'm crazy, it's like a fox. That's it. I'm crazy like a fox. You're not going to fucking, deceive me. I got you pegged. You had me for years. Buying into the beta-stated, alpha wave television, living in that alpha wave thing with the media, where you all have all this suggestion and the propaganda just goes in, and you're just a good American, and everyone's good, and America's good, no matter what we do, everything is good, and it doesn't matter. Israel's good, no matter what they do is good, because we have to back Israel. That's it, That's the A state. That's like when you're watching television and the beta waves are coming at you, okay? And they're giving you the information, and it's suggesting it, and it's telling you. Well, why don't you watch, some foreign television where they show what Israel does to the Palestinians, what they really do, and how they created their own opposition, Hamas, in 1973. Why don't they tell you that? Why don't they show you what they do with their They do the same thing the CIA does. Mossad and works. They work on. They read from the same playbook, and they are controlled by the same people. And they are not our government. Okay. Now, once you get out of your beta wave, your A state, and get into the beta wave state, where you're conscious and thinking and working and formulating your ideas and theories and thinking about what's real and just saying this doesn't make any sense or anything else. When you really identify objectively what the material that these people are showing you for people that are not awake, think about it. Just move away from the television. Just think about what the television was telling you, or what this show tells you now, knowing that they're manipulating your mind, knowing that they're giving you propaganda, knowing that they're only showing the side that they want. Even though they show the other side or other sides, they always push their own agenda through. Why? And how come it doesn't matter if it's a Bush or if it's a Clinton or if it's a Bush or if it's an Obama? It doesn't matter. What matters is the agenda, which never changes. That's the important thing. That's what you have to look at. So move away from the TV. Move away from the games that they program you. I mean, after all, television is called programming, ladies and gentlemen. Programming. Why? Like, I don't call this a program. Okay? This is not a program. But why do they call television and radio programs? And why do they call them programs instead of calling them transmissions? Instead of calling them, anything programming? Scheduling. Why don't I just say here? This is the show, or whatever you want to call it. This is the presentation, and here is the schedule. No, here's the program. Think about that. Your whole lives, all we know this. I mean, anybody who's, there are some people alive that knew when, there was no television. There are still people alive before television, which was 1948, but most people didn't really get it until the 50s, who remember when it was just radio or before radio. There are a few souls left, And think about it. This is all called programming. Project Mockingbird, 1946, was put in place to use these alpha waves to sort of really put you into this, suggestive state where you'll believe what you're told. Now, I'm not making this stuff up. None of this. Everything that I say is truth, because this is where news, the mainstream media ignores, is the top story, and your voice is heard. Well, let's hear your voice. 772-905-3018. Again, give us a shout. Come on, let's talk about something like this. This is insane stuff. They literally mind control you through television programming, movies. It's real, ladies and gentlemen. Research it. Don't believe anything I say. Just know that I'm telling you that it is true. Find out for yourself. Find your own truth. The information that I'm giving you now is absolutely critical to understanding how the New World Order has achieved what they've achieved to this point and where they're going. Okay? Operation Monarch. We're going to be talking about that today, later in the show. That is another good example of the mind control programming through the media and other sources to control the population through the CIA. This is all real stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Please, research it. I beg you. Because we must be the change we wish to see in the world. Unless you want to live life like Winston Smith, or you want to be taking Soma for all your problems and just to fade out, while the crazy transhumanists like Ray Kurzweil and his crew basically put computer chips in your head and attach you to this virtual world that you don't need your body anymore, and there you go. If you want free humanity, you want to have the rights to that everybody's entitled to, you must fight back. Slam a hammer like my neighbor is right next door, if you listen and you hear him. Swing a hammer for liberty. Swing a hammer for justice.